أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وولاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, we continue inshallah with this class about how to deal with our children when things go wrong, or something around that. The topic was, but I prefer the topic as how to understand. When you understand, then it's better to handle. But if you do not understand and you want a quick formula or a quick solution, then it's not going to happen. People study and study and study. Then when they go to workplace, they find completely something different. But you cannot say that what they studied does not help them at work, and you cannot say that what they studied will enable them 100% to handle the job. Okay? So I want you to keep that example in your head. You cannot say that all the years of education from first grade until you finish college does not help you with the practical world. Nobody can say that, because this is insane, And at the same time, you cannot say that what they see in the practical world or the reality is 100% what they studied. No, they need both. So what does education, knowledge, understanding give us? Gives us the framework, gives us the rules, gives us the foundation of how to deal with things, teach us the principles, give us the keys. Now, knowing which door to open with the keys, what kind of foundation, what are the measurements, how to design things, that's by experience, all right? That's the practical world. So when we say that how to deal with our children when things go wrong, you have to understand that nobody is going to be in the position and they say, do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your children will be fine, or you'll be able to deal with things. No, that's why everybody starts with the establishment, with how to do things and what to do and all of that. Now, when all of this fail, now we're not talking about like a magical solution, but you have to know who's responsible before you know that how to deal with it. What if I am the one who's responsible as a father? But when we have a preconceived notion that when we talk about it that the children are wrong, then it's going to be an issue. When we say that, what should we do when things go wrong with our children? So what is in your head? In your head, that the guilty party are your children, and you are the adult, you're the good, you're everything, and come on, Sheikh, teach me what to do so I can fix those who are wrong. Is this what we are thinking? I want to hear your opinion. Is this what you're thinking? You can raise your hand and I will ask you to speak.
Assalamu alaikum.
Maimuna, go ahead. Sister Maimuna raised her hand.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. For me, it's not that the kids are at fault, but it's my first reaction is like, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? And how do I fix it to help get them back on track? So it's like, we learned, okay, do this, and like in my mind, okay, I thought I was doing this right, but like, where did I go wrong? Where is my misunderstanding? What mistakes did I make so that I can stop making that mistake and maybe change my way of thinking or change another method or what? So it's like more of a panic from my end in terms of what did I not do that I was supposed to do, or
I got
along that line.
I got your point. So what we'll say, Iman, you can, whenever whoever answers, and put their hand down. You can right click and.
I can do that.
Okay. So if anybody have any other comment, please raise your hand while I'm responding to what Sister Maimuna said. I need more feedback. So I think Sister Hiba wanted to speak. So go ahead, Sister Hiba.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. اتفضلي.
Yeah, the idea that comes in my mind when we say there is things go wrong with the kids, like correcting certain behaviors that is not acceptable. How can we deal with that? To is a certain way or something that we have to do to correct that behavior.
Thank you so much. So now we have two opinions. Sister Maimuna said, and I'm talking to the whole class now, and I need your hands after I ask the other question. So according to Sister Maimuna, she is saying that I've been learning certain things and I apply them, but they didn't work. So I'm accusing myself and I'm saying where I go wrong. It is more of a panic from her side that there is a plan, but why the plan is not working. Okay, so that's one look at the issue. Sister Hiba give us the other side. And she said that, when certain behaviors of the kids are not acceptable, but whatever I am doing, it is not, working with them. But I need to learn how to control that, how to get to the kids so that they don't do that behavior. I hope I summarized right. So who in the class think that which side we should go with?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Sister Maria. Okay, for me is that, the first thing that came to my mind is what is right and what is wrong, because I'm looking at it from my point of view, and I thought that I may be right, but sometimes I may be wrong. So the first thing that came to my mind is that, of course, we want our children to be like us, but are we doing the right thing?
Okay. So that's a third perspective now, saying that it is more of feeling that there is some kind of knowledge or some kind of issue that I don't know. So I want to have a standard to what is right and what is wrong before we ask ourselves what to do. Okay? So one is talking about how can I deal with the children when there are behaviors that are not acceptable. One is like, where do I go wrong? And the third one is how to know what is right and what is wrong. Anybody else? We're getting there, by the way. It's beautiful feedback. Anyone else? I need someone to get us closer to the issue. Okay, Sister Siti, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Salam.
I think from my perspective, like you give an example that when the child is wrong, and the parents is right, and things goes wrong with the parent, with the child, is because the parent is always right. I think so.
Yeah. You play the parent card, I think, more than often.
Yeah. So
by the way, too, yeah. I'm guilty with that as well.
So first of all, I think in Islam is the parents are, when you raise the child, the parents are always have to set the example first. So when things go wrong, we have to reflect on where we go wrong first. That's what I think, and then we go from there.
Right. Okay. Jazakallah khairan. Wallahi, mashallah, the feedback today is amazing. Yalla, who else? I want today's class to be more interactive than any other class, and I'll tell you why at the end, inshallah. You'll see why at the end. So who else can tell me about this issue in general and about specifically what comes in your mind, like when we raise that issue? There is a mushkila, there is a problem at hand. So each one is giving me a perspective now. And that's the beauty of collaborative learning. That's the beauty of collaborative learning. My master's was in education, so I'm applying some theories with you right now, some exercises. So collaborative learning, that you don't learn on your own. You learn from everybody else. Because when we do it our own, most likely there will be lots of issues and flaws with our rules. So collaborative learning, that everybody put their perspective, and at the end, of the discussion, we come with a perspective that each one is seeing it from different way and customizing it for their own. I'll repeat this again. So collaborative learning, like when a group of people learn together from each other, instead of having a linear or one-way look at things, that you hear 5-6 people, and the 5-6 people, each one give one perspective. So everyone is like, oh, I didn't see it that way. Oh, that's how other people look at it. And at the end of the day, you kind of develop a new rule that everybody start benefiting from, but customizing it according to their own need. If you have a teenage child, it's different from when you have children that they got out from college. If you have babies, it's different from like toddlers, from infants, from this, from that. If you have one, it's different from two. If you have boys, different from girls, and so on and so forth. So everybody customized, but we follow the same rule. And that goes back to what I said in the beginning, like all from what you studied in first grade until you finish college is that part. Is that part. Like how you accumulate all these different theories and all this different knowledge and the math and the science and the English and the social studies and your knowledge about the world and solving problems and studying and doing exams and how the tests are and how to get your grades up and the absence and the presence and the school and the online and all of this is like an experience now. It's like from all of that, you know how to do things. But now when a certain situation comes, then that's the customization part. So all those years, it is like this class. It's like this course. Okay, it's like our life in this dunya. So that's what we do. So when the actual thing comes, the test comes, then you customize it, you know. So Sister Siti, go ahead.
Another reason when there's a problem or when we raise children, I think the two factors that plays a part is nature and nurture. So in raising the child, you nurture the child, but also the environment plays a part. Like new problems can occur when the environment is caused by environment. So that's also another thing to look at, I think.
Well, that's very good. All right, let me ask another question. Why the children rebel, or why they do things that we don't want them to do, or why they defy the rule that you introduced to them? Why do they do that? And I want you to answer objectively. Don't say that they are like devils in form of human beings and they just want to break every single rule there is. I don't want you to say that.
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Amy.
But I think Sister Maimuna raised her hand first. So
okay, Sister Maimuna, go ahead.
Oh, I think they rebel because they want to be in control. They want to establish their own identity and that they are now capable of being in control of making their own decisions. So they're trying to kind of like establish their ground and wanted to feel like they are in control. And we are not. We, the parents, are no longer in controlling them. Okay. So they want to feel they're in control. So that's why they do things opposite of whatever we ask them to do.
Yeah. Half of what you said is absolutely right. But the other half is your opinion, by the way. It is your opinion. And I'll say which part, but go ahead, Iman, Sister Iman.
I just wanted to make a comment about the attachment or the orientation of a child. So when children are younger, a long time ago, it used to be where they're more parent-oriented. So the parents are where they learn their values, and the grandparents are where they learn. That's their moral compass. So they're likely to want to please the parents and go. So there's this this core attachment to the parents and having them as the primary people that they want to please in their lives. Okay, and then I feel like as our situation shifted, and there's a lot of literature on this and research, but as the situation shifted and the way schools are set up and the way things are set up, most kids in our community, in our society now, are peer-oriented really early. So their orientation or their moral compass is not the parents anymore. So that actually causes like a disruption in the relationship and our impact or effect on them. and them wanting to actually please us or listen to us or use us as their moral compass. So I feel that attachment is an issue too.
Good. So now, Sister Iman, she diagnosed the issue, right? And Sister Maimuna said her take on it. And they said it, Sister Maimuna said it before Iman anyways, but it's kind of like if we put it in order, we'll take Sister Iman's comment, then Sister Maimuna's comment after that. That's how I'm seeing it, right? So what Sister Iman is saying is like, at all times there was something called pedagogy. Pedagogy is like the teacher-child. So all the information, all the instruction, everything comes from the adult to the child, and the child is more of a receiver, and they go according to plan, and then when they become adults, they transfer it, and like that. So their moral compass were basically based on their parents, like their ideals, their ideas, their ideals, their standards, criteria, everything comes from the adult, who is a teacher or a parent, doesn't matter. Someone older. You look up to someone older, and you do it. Sir, how should I do that? Ma'am, how should I do that? But now they go online and they discover it in their own. So why you tell them what to do if they can actually get everything on their own? All right? So the moral compass, it's not only a moral compass, it is information compass. Everything is the resource. You're not the resource anymore, and you are not the foundation anymore. You're not the one who say what to do and what not to do. So it's basically nothing personal. It is they don't hate you, or they don't want to be in control, and that's the part of Sister Maimuna's comment that is your opinion and my opinion. And not only you, we are the generation that's struggling with understanding. Me, you, everybody. It's not like I'm on a pedestal here and I'm doing everything I'm teaching. Same thing, suffering from the same exact thing. So what I'm trying to say here is, like, you are saying that they're trying to be in control. No, they're not trying to be anything. They're not trying to be in any control. It is just a statement that you are not the source of everything I should know. Okay? So this is the idea. Because now I can be giving the khutbah and somebody checking every hadith I say it is authentic or weak while I'm saying simultaneously. They're not going to wait until the khutbah finish and they go ask another sheikh. Sheikh Mamduh said this such and such hadith. Yeah, Sheikh, my bigger scholar, is this true or not? They're not going to do that. That is going to take days. It may take hours if they are lucky, but it will take days until they get to that. So it was slow. The reaction was slow. Somebody will not come and face me except after 2-3 days if I say a weak hadith. You see how things change? So now, while I'm talking, they will just go. And I'm not going to ask Google or Wikipedia. They are going to go to a very good website that will tell them the hadith is authentic or not. I'm giving the benefit of doubt that the person is doing it in the right way. So while I'm speaking, they already put off by my speech. If they already find that I'm talking nonsense or I'm saying like a non-authentic thing, they're already not listening. So I'm not the source of their information anymore. I hope you see the gravity of the situation here, right? So how do you deal with someone that you are not the source of their information anymore, religiously or morally or anything? It's a globalization. It is like, no, I learn on my own. I decide who can be the source, okay? So if there is no rules that tells the kids that they have to go to school, they will not go to school. You know that. And by the law here, you cannot force them to do something that they do not want to do. It becomes abuse. But the rules and the laws are what is making things still somehow in your hand. But generally speaking, education, if you do not have a higher level of math, and my daughter giving me something to do, it is a 4th grade math, and I failed. I cannot do it. So how can I give them instruction in math? Huh? And before, if you don't have any knowledge in religion, you tell them, let me ask Sheikh Mamduh, I'll come back to you. Well, they cannot wait that. And who say that Sheikh Mamduh is my source like yours? No. So they will go and learn on their own. So that is the mushkil that we're dealing with. I hope you understand now that where is the issue. The issue is like, how can I what should I do when things go wrong, you have to know why they are going wrong, and are they actually going wrong or not. It's not like going wrong because this is your wrong and my wrong. I know there are rules Allah says wrong and haram, but I'm talking from a practical psychological perspective here. So the children are listening to you because they have to, right? But if they don't have to, they will not. They're with you because they need you, but if they don't need you, they're not. Okay, so the children, if they need you financially, they will stay with you. If they don't need you financially, they'll move on without a second thought. Yeah. Because you know the moral structure or the religious foundation or the family ethics and all of that is non-existent. And it might be there somehow, but because of a reason. Reason is the attachment or the need. There is a need. The kids don't know that they need you when they are very young, but when they grow up, they know that they need you, and they calculate it in their head. You know, like if I don't want to listen to my parents, what I'm going to do? They want to force me to do it, and if I don't do it, then what? Then I have to do it because I need to stay at that home. I need to have that money. I need a car. I need a phone. I need everything, and that's why. But the issue now that they don't want to listen to instruction. It's not like the right or wrong instruction. No, the instruction does not come from above anymore. So how do you think how we should deal with this issue? I give you a bigger diagnosis now. Scary, yeah, but I hope you understood what I was saying, yeah. So how would you deal with someone who thinks like that, or who is the byproduct of this environment now? What would you do? There is a solution, by the way. I just want you to know what would you do now, understanding what I just said. Raise your hand.
Shay, can you please repeat the question?
Okay, so it's not a question. I'm just saying that a comment now. You heard my comment. Like why, you're expecting something, but it is not happening. I told you how this generation sees. You are not the source of their education. You are not the source of their beliefs. You are not the source of their instruction. They listen to your instruction because they need you. If they don't need you, they will not listen to your instruction. They only listen to the instruction of someone that they need. They need you financially and all of that. They will listen to your instruction. They don't need you. They will go listen to the instruction of their boss at work, but not you, because that's what they get their paycheck. So they will listen to the instruction of someone that they need. You get it? You are not the source of their information or education. You are not the source of telling them what to do and what not to do. They're not only their moral compass, like Iman said, no, everything, their life structure is not based on you anymore, because the information is everywhere. Okay? And they can choose whatever opinion that they want, and they have the freedom to practice whatever they want. So you are not in control. They make you in control because they need you. So there is a fake sense of control here. So when this is the issue, how you deal with it? That's my question. Do you have any perspective, Sister Iman?
Yes, sure.
It's scary, right?
Yeah, it's very scary, and I try to understand this early while my kids are still young. So I try, but I feel like everything has a solution. So once a child is like that, I feel like it's re-establishing that relationship or that bond, or re-establishing yourself as a source of authority. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but I feel like that's
yeah, but you're so close. The whole solution is how to redefine the relationship. You're still the father or the mother. You're still the parent. Allah give you that right. Fine. We get that. But how to get the other side to our children to understand like we understand it, right? So our approach have to be different. So redefining. Because what we do is, like me as a father, I saw my father as my father, and I saw other fathers as fathers. So that's where I'm getting my fatherhood and trying to convince my children with it, right? The first phase is okay, but the second phase is not okay. I hope I'm clear in that one. The first phase is, where do I get my fatherhood ideas? From the Quran, from the Sunnah, from my father, from my uncle, from all the fathers in the world. Mashi yani, it's okay. Now I have a child that I want to practice that fatherhood with. That is where the issue is, right? That is where the issue is. That you want to apply what you gathered in all this life of education and study to this practical situation that is completely different. You have the basis. A father and a mother is one side, and the child is another side. Nobody, even the child, does not matter. From here until Yawm al-Qiyamah, he is the child, you're the father. You're the one who brought him here physiologically or physically or whatever. Nobody can change that. A child will not get older than the father. But khalas, yani, we understand those. But now how you make them feel that you are a father and within the relationship. So the relationship will not be a relationship based on instruction anymore. I hope now I'm getting you the solution, right? The relationship will not go based on instruction anymore. It's not an instruction-based relationship. I know it's going to be very hard and shocking and a struggle, you know, where this have been for all this time, but instruction will be there, but will not be given as an authority. You play authority, they will abide because they need you. Khalas. And that's why in the United States, for kids, when they are like 18 or 19, they're out. Because they have options. They don't want to listen to you because they don't need you. That's my analysis after years, by the way, of studying, you know. They don't need you. They're not evil. They love you as a person who took care of them when they're young and everything. They do love you. They mean it when they say that. But for their life, it's independent from you completely. I mean, independent. Okay, so now they have a chance of, why should I listen to your instruction while I can make my own? Give me a reason to listen to your instruction. You tell them, oh, because I'm a father and Allah said this. It doesn't work like that. So defining that relationship is, redefining it. So it's not a relationship based on instruction anymore or authority. Take those out of there will be instruction and authority, but they are not the base. Okay, I want you to write that down and listen to this again. So redefining the parenting aspect, or the relationship between parents and their children, redefining that, not changing the original perspective that Allah created. No, a father, biological father is a biological father. You know, moral father and moral, emotional father and the mother, they are the same. Nobody's going to change that. But how it is practiced, that is what's going to change. So you have to come to the filter, the thing in the middle. I am the parents, they are the children. Khalas, nobody is debating that. Now, how you practice your parenting with the children and how they look at you as a parent, not as a figure of authority, base, yani. The base is not figure of authority, not the source of instruction. So what would be the one thing, and I know it is going to be very generic, but what will be the one aspect, subhanallah, that this relationship should be redefined? Based on, it should be refined. Me as a father, you as a mother, our children. Now, how can we redefine that relationship? I'm not the figure of authority. I'm not the figure of instruction. Just think in your head right now that my kids are not going to get instructions from me, and I'm not an authority for them. And they are there listening to me because they need me. Once they are independent, they will leave. So how do I make sure that my relationship stays with them? So what would be the one thing that this relationship should be based on first and foremost, other than authority and instruction? Sister Siti.
I think the child should place their full trust on the parents.
What's that?
Trust come first.
What comes before trust? How do you build your trust in someone?
Well, first you speak the truth. Is that what you mean?
Okay, but how? I know speaking the truth. What is that? Speaking the truth is the action, right? Is the action.
Yes.
What is the principle that make you speak the truth so people can trust you? That's how we think, That's the critical thinking of the issue. You do not say you say the truth And the kids, but sometimes saying the truth, it offends people, you know.
Say the truth and act.
No, like saying the truth, like somebody is limping. I said, oh, you are a limping person. I said, just say the truth.
Morals, I think.
Huh?
What kind of morals? I mean,
Okay, what are the, no, well, I'm not going to your morals or things, because as I said, you are good for yourself. But what is the one thing that I can base my relationship on with my children?
Respect.
I was just about to
Okay.
say. Yeah.
What would make someone respect you?
Oh, wow.
That you have their best interest at heart. I don't know.
How would they know that?
Love.
Love,
There you go.
kindness.
That is the word.
Love.
That is the word. You know, and the word love is not love Hollywood, love blah blah blah, that thing. No. Sometimes we take it lightly when a parent said to the children, I love you, or the children said, I love you, Dad, I love you, Mom. Actually, I used to, how should I say? I used to be sarcastic at that word when, you know, in the American culture, it is said all the time, right? I used to be sarcastic about that. But later, like recently, I mean, when I'm doing the research and all of that, I found that it's actually part of a culture. It doesn't matter what you mean at the time you're saying it, but it is a reflection that our relationship, I still love you no matter what. Okay? I'm not saying that this is right, huh? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that when I start paying attention to it, I say, okay, the relationship of this culture is based on something that they define as love. What they see about love is not my issue now. What my issue is, like, that is the one thing that they all agree on. Like at the time of problems, you know what? I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom. And they are like disagreeing and they are fighting and they're like whatever. There is distance between them, you know, like oceans, between them. And then they will say, you know what? I love you. And I used to say, oh, they don't mean it. What kind of love is that? Tough love, whatever it is. But when you look at it, this is actually the foundation that Allah created everything based on. I'll give you an ayah of the Quran to prove that. That everything is based on love. Hatta ma'allah azza wa jal. You see, Allah is the highest form of authority, isn't He? Yet Allah azza wa jal said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who believe, man yartadda minkum an dini, whoever abandon the religion and leave it, فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه. Allah will replace you with people that He interchanges love with them. يحبهم, He loves them, ويحبونه. You see the basic. Allah Azza wa Jalla said He will replace you completely by people that the relationship between them and Allah, and who says Allah? The relationship between them and Allah is based on what? On love. Can you imagine that? Before He asked them to, then Allah said, يحبهم ويحبونه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه. مين يذكرنا بالآية يا الذين آمنوا من يرتد منكم عن دينه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه أذلة على المؤمنين أعزة على الكافرين. هو that is the ayah. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said that how they will be with the believers, how they will deal with each other, they will do salah, they will do this, that's later. But in the beginning, the relationship is based on what? On love. So Allah is the highest form of authority. What about us as parents? That's actually supposed to be. It's not like we're redefining. No, we are going back to what it's supposed to be. And that's how it is. Our children, they jump and they destroy and all of that. And then, when they are not doing anything, you bring them and you hug them and kiss them and all of that. What did it change when they grew up a little bit more? When they were younger, they were making physical damage more than ever. Yes? So the children, when they were young, they're making physical damage. They're breaking things and jumping up and down and screaming and this and that. And I'm sure you heard a couple of minutes of their screaming before I started the class. And we put up with it. And we still saying that we love you and all of that. And when they grow up, their physical damage is not there anymore. It's more they're challenging you intellectually. But we react in a certain way. Why we do that? Because our ego. You know, like how come a child defeats me in discussion, or how come a child say their opinion? I am the authority here, you know, I'm the older person. That's why you want to play the father or the mother card and push them down. Yani. Do that. I was telling one of my children, you know, recently that, you know, I'm going to always play my father card, you know. You're going to lose all the time. The parents are always right. Well, we're saying it as a joke, yani. So expect that all the time, you know. But I am your father at the end of the discussion, you know. I am your dad, you know. I'm the older person here with more experience and all of that. So the relationship has to use their own love. Yani, what does that mean? That you're going to admit that you're wrong sometimes. You're going to say sorry to your children sometimes. You're going to say what you think sometimes, or a lot of times. You're going to give them, you're going to trust them, knowing that they will make mistake. You're going to give them money, knowing that they're going to spend it on something that's not necessarily what you want. But you're going to do it. It's part of the experience. Then they'll appreciate what you're doing. It's not as a figure of authority, because, you know, you don't give them money to spend knowing that they're wrong. No, I'm not going to give you money because you're going to spend it on whatever. Okay? Well, when they can get money, what are you going to do? They're not going to think twice. You are nobody at that moment. But if you do that and support, now, how they spend the money the rest of their life, based on how you taught them out of love. They made mistakes and they challenged and all of that. But later, they know that, okay, my father or my mother allowed me to do this. So they are part of my education. They cannot change that. Then they appreciate. So you can actually do what you're doing, but in a different way. I think you should try such and such. It's not like you have to do such and such. So basically, it's reframing. Reframing, redefining and reframing your own mind, like how to advise somebody. Like now, when they go to a class, Montessori, for example, versus the regular school, what do? They let the kids explore on their own, and then they emphasize the concept at the end. You kind of give them some sand and some things like that, and they mess up, and then you start doing something in front of them, they imitate you. You're not saying, no, don't touch it, you have to do it like that. That's how I learned things. And that's how you did learn things as well. I don't know how much you agree with me and how young or old you are, but that's what I remember, you know. Like, you know, the parents give a child a toy and they tell him how to use it. Or you're not going to use the toy because you are like that. But now, let them explore, let them destroy, let them do things. And then you start doing, they imitate you. I made that experiment this morning before I come to the class, by the way. When I was preparing all of this, then I made that experiment. You know, I tell my 3-year-old, one of my 3-year-old, open the drawer in the kitchen, the bottom, and do that. Then no. Okay. Then while I'm standing, I went and I opened the drawer with my toes. And I put my toes with that thing, and I pulled the drawer in, not in the kitchen, the bedroom, I'm sorry. So the dresser, the lowest drawer, telling him, get your pants from that drawer. I said, no, you get it. He's telling me, you get it. You see now, it's 3-year-old telling him, you get your own pants. He said, no, you get it. I put my toes on the drawer. He said, oh, I do it. I want to do it. I said, okay. So he did it, and he got his pants. So so imagine now you have to just redefine like how you do things, like make it interesting. Okay. Also, I tried another experiment. I have, alhamdulillah, 2-3-year-old. They are staying with me. So I tell someone, go get me the phone from that table. They said, no, you get it. See, this is the reaction now of the children. They watch it, cartoons. So why? It's your phone. Why should I get it? So now my focus, sisters, is how can I get him to get my phone? It's not like I need to give him an instruction and he has to listen. No. How? I'm the older guy, yes. So I have to be smarter. So I have to come up with a strategy. I don't have to get stuck with one versus the other, and I'm the authority and he's not listening and he's a disobedient child. No. How to make things interesting. That is the key word for now. So I tell his brother, well, would you go get me my phone? He ran right away because now he knows there is a competition. And I started doing that more often. So one, make the thing that you are requesting from them interesting enough that they want to do it. Two, create a very noble, clean competition in a way that they feel that they are winning something. Because when you tell them, no, I don't want, and he's sitting on the couch and watching TV, doesn't want to move. But when somebody else wants, no, I want that credit. Okay? So that's a competition. And so on and so forth. Inshallah, we'll talk more about these strategies like next week. But I'm just giving you ideas. That's why today I said it's more of a discussion. Anybody has comment on what I just said now? Is it shocking? Is it new? Are you doing that? Just give me something. Mr. Kalsoom, I haven't heard you.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah, so to my understanding is the love and care we give. That's what make people respect, and they build a relationship and trust in you and listen to your instruction. Is that what? That's my understanding.
Yes, you're right, but we want to keep the word instruction and the word authority to ourselves.
Okay.
Okay, you keep it to ourselves. This is our definition. It's not going to change. It is very hard to get out of that mindset, but that's not your children's mindset. So the issue is not your children being stubborn. The issue is that your children are not relating to the style you are using with them. But it's not like they are bad or you are bad or no, or they're challenging. It's not. They are not relating to this. This is not what it is for them. What is for them is like there is an adult who is taking care of me, and they have to take care of me because they are the adult. They are my parents. They are the one who brought me here, so they take care of me, right? When I grow, do I take care of them? No, I take care of my own children like they take care of me. There is no moral connection, right? So that's why you have to emphasize on this, and instead of being stuck on the challenging mode and looking at it as something wrong. When things went wrong, that's why I told you I don't agree with it from the beginning. When things go wrong, according to who it is wrong? According to us, or that's why last session, not the week before, but the week before the story, I was talking about the different type of development and all of that, just to see that not necessarily you are wrong, like Sister Maimuna was saying, I panic, or they are wrong. Like Sister Heba presented, that children has to do certain things and they are not doing it. Sister Maimuna said they are not doing it maybe because of me. So both of you are right, but not completely right. Okay? So we're not going to be in an accusing position here that I failed as a parent, so I need to know what I failed, so give me the information so I can follow it, so my children will follow. It's not going to be working. It's not going to work like that. Or the children are not listening, so how can I make them listen? It doesn't work like that either. So instead of looking at it as a right or wrong, look at it as the relationship itself is not defined right. It's like you are cooking rice for 2 people in a 12 people pot, or vice versa. You are cooking rice, you are doing a great thing, but you are using the wrong pot or the wrong utensil. And you're going to drink soup, but you have that kind of what they call it يا أمان البتاع اللي هي المغرفة المخرمة دي ولا اسمها ايه؟
Oh, the
spatula مثلا.
Like one with holes in it, you mean? One with holes in it?
Yes, yeah.
The sieve muscle?
The serving spoon, but it has holes in it.
Okay. I don't know if it has a specific name.
I don't know the name. But you are trying to serve ملوخية or soup with a spatula. Right? Like your noble cause. You cooked good food. But you are serving it wrong. Okay? So you use the right tool. Now, having the right tool does not also mean that you're going to use it right. So you have to have the right tool and you know how to use it. And then you have a skill to use it better. And that's one thing also I want you to write it down. So having the best tools does not mean that you are going to be the best person to use them. You need to have to use them. You need the manual. And then you need how to be creative with them as well. You go to Home Depot or Ace Hardware or whatever, an hardware store, and you get the best tools for carpenting, or the best tools for whatever, the art or something that you want to do. Would this result on some nice product? Was this resulted that you do the windows and the doors, you remodel the windows and doors at your home? You have the best tools, and they have the lumber and everything, and you brought everything, and it's standing in front your front yard, and all the tools are inside. So what happens next? How to use them. And how to use them, what comes first, what comes second. You cut this, you don't cut that. Somebody have to help you, have to outsource somebody, this, that. So all of this is the big deal, not having the tools. Okay? And then you get a certain level of skill that you do, or you hire somebody who can do. And you become creative, and you say, okay, that's why you see in YouTube, oh, I have a better idea how to do such and such, like hacks. And they teach you, said, wow, I was so happy one time when somebody told me how to do the garlic, unpeel the garlic without even touching them. So you put them in the jar, and you close the jar, glass jar, and you put the lid on it and close it very well, and you keep shaking it so hard for like 1 minute until the peel will go away from the garlic, and you have nice garlic. You chop, and you cook with it. I was very happy. Why? Because all my life, I do like this. Another person put the thing under the knife and smash it, and here you go. I know the sisters are grinning right now, laughing, and I don't see you, but saying why Sheikh is using like this kitchen cooking and all that, because that's my. I'm happy doing it. Yeah, I enjoy being in the kitchen, even though I bring like calamities there, but still, it's good. So feel very happy with doing that. So what I'm saying is, like, you have the best of tools. I Mamdouh, give you the best of tools as the Sheikh, how to deal with your children. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed. All right? You need your way of using it. And don't be shy to say, how can I use that? I go with the remote control, trying to get to the channel, and, my son or my daughter grabs the remote and like that, without even looking at and I'm looking at the digits and the numbers, and said, Baba, by the time you get the show is finished. You just go like this without looking. So here, I benefit from them like they benefit from me. So it's a mutual relationship based on love. And love brings respect, because we love each other, but there is a respect that keeps me on the parents' level and they are on the children level, and care that keeps them on the children level while I'm on the parents' level. Yes, sister.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mamdouh.
Walaikum salam.
I have a question regarding love. Okay, so I know kids, I feel like when you do show them love, I feel like they can take advantage of that, and they try to work with you, kind of using that affection. So I feel like sometimes you just kind of have to restrain yourself of not showing that, because you don't want to be taken advantage, when they do something wrong.
Very good. But that again, you see, we are here discussing, we're all adults, right? But
correct.
What I'm saying, again, this is a preconceived notion of yours as an adult. Not stressing. I'm saying that you are saying, representing or echoing or voicing millions of parents' concern, not only you. So when I'm talking, I'm not criticizing you here. But this is our, what they call it, prerogative, like this is what we think, preconceived, that I show them more love, they'll take advantage, right? And maybe they are, according to our definition. So you show them love, they take advantage. What is wrong of them taking advantage?
I don't believe a bad behavior should be given, that kind of feeling. So they don't deserve it.
So you are saying taking advantage is by default a bad thing?
No, when you know that you're trying to get away with something that you're not supposed to do, but you're, using that as a tool, I believe, it shouldn't. I don't know. I don't think it should be done.
See, I am making you uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to do, by the way. I'm making you uncomfortable, like returning back the argument to you to see it, like, putting a mirror in front of you. Is it wrong when I show someone love, forget about my children, knowing that they will take advantage of it and they will take something from me that normally I don't want to give them? Is that necessarily bad?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me give you a story. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, he was a very rich merchant, the son of Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab, right? And he had lots of slaves. At the time, slavery, so keep it in context, okay? So we're not saying slavery bad or good now. I'm not saying that. But he has slaves. So at a certain point, 1400 years ago, there is a man, his name is Abdullah ibn Umar. He had hundreds of slaves. Right? And he knows the rules, so he frees whenever and frees them and all that, and he make them free and set them free. So he made a rule. He himself, Abdullah ibn Umar, said there is a rule. What is that rule? If any of my slaves start showing me signs that they pray on time and they are good with Allah, I will set them for free. Okay? Now let me ask, can this rule be taken advantage of?
Of course.
How?
Well, okay, I'm sure there's some people eventually can lead to them truly accepting, Allah's words and everything. But there's some just going to take advantage and, run with it.
Good. You see, now pay attention to the next part. So many, not some, of his slaves, so like you just said, exactly, started faking it. And he knew that they are faking it. Yet he set them for free. So they told him, your slaves are cheating you. Right? They are tricking you. They are not actually doing what you see them doing. He said, that's all right. Whoever deceiving me with Allah, I accept to be deceived. Man khada'ana billahi khudi'na. So even though I know that they are not sincere, but they give me a reason to free them. I freed them because they make salah. Fake or not fake, that's okay. It's up to them. So the issue here is that he already expected that. So he's in control. You can be in control to be taken advantage of. But you already decided that I don't want you to take advantage of me. No, you should be smarter, one step before. I am going to give that love, knowing that this is how I'm going to be taken advantage of. So I decide now. Do I show the love or I don't show the love? I show the love, I know it comes with taking advantage. Well, that's fine. I'm going to give you $100, but use them properly. Otherwise, this, and I love you. And they go and they spend it in the wrong. I know actually not wrong, haram, but they were going to go do other things. So they will come back and they said, how do you spend $100? Oh, I get this and this and this. You see, I told you. But still, I'm going to give you. But next time, be careful. So I know I'm going to be taking advantage. But I'm going to redefine the rules within myself, keep it to myself. And then I will let that. It's like somebody convincing you that you are in control, while they are actually the ones in control.
Well, okay. So I'm partially disagreeing just because of the fact I believe there are two separate issues. I don't believe that story really matches with this one because one is competing for Allah's sake. This one is more between you and your child. And, the consequences of, certain stuff that that can lead to maybe worse stuff that maybe by you doing that could prevent that. So be it. I'm not going to show you affection because I know ultimately what path that's going to take you. So I'd rather just stop it there. And then, after that, because I feel like inherently down the road, kids will realize that you love them. My parents never gave me that, oh, I love you. But I know that my parents loved me. They don't have to necessarily say it. They don't have to necessarily give me everything, but it's just at that certain stage in their life, they don't really understand it. And I feel like when you do give them that love and affection, when you constantly do show them, I really believe it's going to backfire, you know.
May I add a small comment? May I add a small comment, please?
Sure.
Okay, so there is a difference between loving the child or hating the child and hating their behavior. And once you make that distinction, so if I'm correcting a child's behavior, I could tell my child, I love you and I care about you, but I dislike this behavior and needs to get fixed. And they're more likely to be willing to please me and change that behavior if I come from a place of love than a place of just telling them what to do no matter what. So if I show them that I love them, I'm not talking about the behavior. There's a complete difference. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us, but he dislikes the behavior or the disobedience. And I think it's really important to explain this to kids, that there's a difference. My love is not conditional. If you're good, I love you. If you do bad, I don't love you anymore. So the kid is constantly feeling insecure because if I do this bad, then my mom hates me. If I do this good, then she likes me. A parent's love cannot be conditional based on what they do or what they do not do. It's based on loving them because they're your child, but disliking the behavior. And when you come from a place of love, they're more likely and you will have a better impact and they will be more likely to listen to your advice and want to change the behavior than if you were coming from a place where I will only love you if you do good. That's just my 2 cents.
Absolutely. Jazakallah khair. So basically on what Sister mentioned, the whole issue is, again, the concept. You're disagreeing on the concept. Let me put like some explanation on that, a little bit more to make it clearer. The reason I use this story, you said you disagree partially because you did not see the link. Okay? So it is with you. It's not with the story. And I know exactly why I use that story. It is like I said, Allah's love. Is Allah's love to his creation like your love to your child? You'll disagree also. But you didn't disagree on that because it's a big one. It's big, I cannot say that, this doesn't match. It's between me and my children now, and you are talking about Allah and, his creation, and Ibn Umar and his slaves. But there is a link. There is something called qiyas. Qiyas means analogy, right? There is analogy with difference. If you study logic, you'll know, sisters, very well, that you can use, grocery example, and you are trying to raise your children, which you did not disagree with. I've been using the groceries and the garlic and everything, and you didn't have a problem with that, right? But when I mentioned about the example, you disagreed with it because you did not see the link. You only saw the difference, all right? So try to establish a link from disparate examples. Disparate here means not somebody disparate. Some people, they pronounce it disparate, but it is disparate. The word disparate means something far from each other. So establishing a link, actually Quran teaching us that the further the examples away from each other, the better the concept sticks. It sticks, When you see Allah Azza wa Jalla send 2 birds to the son of Adam to show him how to bury his brother. Did Allah send a manual with those 2 birds? Telling him, I am sending you those 2 birds so you can see? No, Allah is telling us that he did that for that reason. But when the son of Adam saw the 2 birds fighting, and one of them killed the other, or the crow or the raven trying to dig a grave, and then he put the other raven and then he covered. How did he? He could have said what you said. I don't see the difference, it's different, this is the birds and this is humans. What is that? This is the law of the birds, why should I apply? But he saw the link. They fought and I fought. He killed and I killed. He digs, now I need to dig. You see? So Ibn Umar is a master. I am a father. His slaves, my children. He set a rule and they took advantage of it. I set a rule and they took advantage of it. He analyzed, I should analyze. He found a reason, I should find a reason. You see the analogy, how it works? But don't dismiss the issue because you have a preconceived notion in your head. And that's actually one of the issues that we have with our children. It's my way. And I feel that. And then you used your parents' issue. Please don't be offended. And I said, I'm talking to you because you are voicing. Then you used your parents' example. My parents said this. And from the beginning of the class, I'm saying whatever you learned from your parents doesn't apply to your children. And from the beginning, I'm singing that song, you know. I am
sorry, I missed the first part. Sorry.
I'm telling you that whatever with your parents is not going to work with your children. They do not see it the way you see it, sister. Well, that's what I'm trying to say from the very beginning. And that's why we're here now. Okay? They're going to take advantage of you. How are you going to use that? Instead of saying, I'm not going to allow them to take advantage of me. Well, let's see how that works with you in the next 5-10 years.
Well,
it's not going to work because it's not working now for me or for anyone sitting here today. It's not working. For me saying I am the authority, I'm not going to show you more love because you guys are going to take advantage of it. Hence, I'm not going to do it. Well, fine. That's your decision. They have a decision also. If you do not show me love, and if I don't take advantage of it at some times, well, whenever I'm independent, I leave. Thank you. Bye-bye. And when you grow older, I can put you in a nursing home too. You see, that's what you're dealing with. So you have to be very practical and realistic. You are not in control like you think. Okay? You're not. And I am not. It is just the needs that it is holding this so-called family structure together at our time. And if we don't do it now, it's lost forever. Yani, you have to look, my sister and all my sisters here, how to prepare those children to become parents. Save them from that. It's not like my main concern is that they listen to me because they have to listen to me. No, you are worried about 20 years from now when they are parents in your shoes. What they're going to do? Now kids are saying, well, I don't want to have any children. Or I don't want to get married. What are the alternatives? If they don't get married, what are they going to do? And if they don't have children, then how this ummah will continue? That should be my concern. It's not like my child is not listening to me because if I show love, they'll take disadvantage. That is, I'm thinking, and it's very minimal level of thinking. It should be like much higher than that. And you have to lose some battles. Some battles you have to lose, knowing that you are losing them. I'm not saying that always allow them to get take advantage of you. La, you take advantage 25% of the time. Okay, I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine if they take 40%. Fine, somebody else taking advantage 40%. I know as long as I'm not doing haram, let them take advantage of me 90% of the time. I'm cool with that too. For me, I'm saying that love has to be there. Now, how you dispense it and how you show it, that's your choice. But at the end of the day, you become responsible. At the end of the day, like when you are sitting on your recliner, when you are 70 or 80 years old and you have great grandchildren, inshallah, you will say that, Alhamdulillah, I did my best. I want to be able to say that if I live until then. I don't want to come and regret. No, I want to say that I did my job. I showed my children love. They messed up. They did and that. But Alhamdulillah, now they realized what I was doing is right. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Ya Rabb, thank you so much for allowing me to explore those options and do that. So as Sister Iman said, you don't like their actions. So you have to separate between that. Now, I go back again to what Allah said. Allah will bring people whom He loves them and they love Him. Those people are not going to commit sins, in your opinion? They will commit sins. Actually, there is another hadith. Allah said that He will bring people who commit mistakes and they repent and then Allah forgive them. So that was intended there. Intended that they do wrong because we learn from our mistakes as humans. We do not just learn from a manual and we have to go correct. You learn actually more by doing wrong. You're learning more by doing wrong. Not learning everything perfect. You have to get sick so your body immune system gets stronger when you are treated. It is not like you never get sick and move forward. If you never get sick and move forward, one small sickness later can kill you, right? So same thing with morality and with kids. Every single one of us here, and I challenge you with whatever you want. whatever you want, that everybody sitting in this class committed a major sin at a certain point of their life, including me. I know people don't like to say that, but that's the elephant in the room. Every single one sitting here today. Not only this class. 99.9% of the ummah like that. Abu Bakr or Umar, Allah Azza wa Jal revealed an ayah that they raised their voice in front of the Prophet. That is a major sin. Does not have to be zina. Don't drift over there. No, major sin. You backbite somebody, didn't you? At any point of your life, did you do backbite? I think thousands of times it happened for each and every one of us. See how many major sins you committed? With Allah, not with your father, with Allah, the highest authority. And you are not allowing our children to take advantage of us for some time, make mistakes sometime. So that is the how you look at things. You hate the behavior. My son or my daughter, when they make a behavior, and I'm sad, I'm not agreeing with you. I disagree with you. Yeah, you can convince me, but I disagree with you, and that's why. I disagree also. I tell them, no, you took advantage of me. I disagree with the way that you did this. Why, Baba, you disagree? And that is how you show love, because I sit and discuss with you. I love you so much. That's why I'm going to tell you why I disagree. Not only because I'm your dad. I'll tell you 1, 2, 3, and you may disagree with me, but think about what I said. Because we love each other, I want you to think about what I said. He took advantage of me, took advantage of my love. And you should not do that next time. That's fine. But love as a relationship is one thing, and agreeing or disagreeing with their actions is another thing. So sometimes, actually, I make them intentionally, wallahi, take advantage of me so I can have that discussion at night. You see? I'm giving them some leeway of things, knowing that they may make a mistake. And if they do, then I'll talk with them at night. If they don't, alhamdulillah, shukrullah, they did not take advantage of me. Great. But if they take advantage of me, and I know there is a possibility of that, then it will lead to something better. So we can sit at night and say, you know what, I feel I've taken advantage of. Why? I gave you lots of freedom, and I told you I love you. Go stay with your friends and come back at 9, but you came back at 10:30, and I don't like that. Oh, but Dad, this, that. No, I'm sorry. There is no excuse. Could you come at 9? Yes. Why you chose to stay at 10:30 until 10:30? Oh, because something interesting. What should have you done then to appreciate my love to you and not take advantage? Oh, I should have texted you. So make sure you do that next time. I love you. Good night. Make sense now? That's a practical example here. What do you think about this, Sister Iman? Why I'm asking Iman? Because she has psychology major. Anybody here has psychology major? Please let me know. Because I am not a psychology major, but I go like by fitra kida. So I want your feedback as a professional. If you're a professional counselor, therapist, you study psychology, you know something, please, don't hesitate. Sister Kalsoom, are you there? Type Sister Marwa. Can you tell us something, Sister Marwa? Something new that you learned today, مثلا.
Allah, ya Sheikh, I learn a lot, but I have so much noise, the kids are around, so I don't bother.
That's okay. Anything that you learned today or you want to add, it will help me, help you, help everybody. But what you like about today's format?
I like the discussion. When everybody say the opinion, I learn from that. That's good.
Good, great.
The point that Sister Maimuna and Sister Heba said in the beginning, I have the same feeling. I have the same opinion.
Yeah, but do you feel, Sister Marwa and everybody else feel that you feel free to respond to that? Do you feel that we as parents sometimes overdoing it? I want to hear that, because I feel that I'm overdoing it sometimes. Do you feel that I am trying to win for my own ego, for myself?
Yes, with me I do. And Mama always remind me, just chill, just take it easy with the kids. You're too much. Oh yeah.
Do you listen to her though?
Sometimes.
But you see the irony here, Marwa?
Yes, I know, I understand.
You listen sometimes to your mom, but you are not allowing your children to sometimes listen,
That's us.
Yeah. My mom is like, she's older, but and she's telling you from her experience, actually, her suggestion to you should carry more weight than your suggestion to your own children. It should.
Yes. Yes.
Of course. Yeah, I think the problem is, like you said at some point, which I really liked during the class, is that it's our frame. So your goals, like we were talking last time about your goal in parenting, is to please Allah first, but also for your children themselves, your goal cannot be for you. So we're not going to be here forever. We're raising the future fathers and mothers and leaders of the ummah. So that should be my primary goal, not to satisfy my needs. I do my responsibility, but I'm not preparing them or customizing them for myself. I'm doing it for themselves and for the ummah and for their future children. So when I'm raising my kids, even if they give me a hard time or they don't come out exactly the way I want, as long as they're successful parents, if they make different choices than I am, that's fine. So I homeschool my kids. If they decide not to homeschool, that's okay. I'm okay with that. If I am going a certain method and they want to do something else, I'm okay with them being individuals. So I just prepare them to be independent. I'm not getting them to listen to me and depend on me. I'm preparing them of how to have, critical thinking. So when they're in a position where they need to make the decisions and they're the decision makers, they don't need me anymore. So subhanAllah, it's like preparing them to not need me, not preparing them to always need me and answer to me.
Right. So now I'm going to give you the third thing, Sister Iman and everybody, that you can write today. So I told you two things already. And the first thing I'm going to ask you next time, what are the three things I told you to write and emphasize in the class, okay? So whoever did not write before, write it now, and then listen to it later, okay? It is like you are doing a job and getting paid for it. You don't own the company. You don't own your children. You do not own anybody in a relationship. I want you to remember that and write it in your head, carve it in your head. Spousal relationship, no ownership. There's no ownership. We're not a slave master here, right? And with children, there is no ownership. You do not own anybody. You do not even own yourself. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ. I belong to Allah. And my children belong to Allah. And Allah make them my children so I can take care of them for Allah. And then they respect me for Allah. So whoever fails in his job, he failed with Allah, not with the children. You don't own them. You do not own them. They are an amana. They are an amana. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Everyone is a shepherd. Okay? So being a father or a mother is based on this amana, caretaking. And children toward their parents is based on ihsan, doing more. Allah Azza wa Jalla make the children do more to their parents. It's not by the book stuff. No. This relationship is a wonderful relationship. And to understand it now is better than tomorrow. So don't say, oh, I did not understand that, or my children are graduate now and I'm a grandmother. It doesn't matter. Show that to your children at any stage of your life. You do not own them. And teach them they don't own their own children. Nobody owns anybody. Okay? And we're not enemies of each other. And what if I do everything and I love and I all that, but they kind of, go wrong. They kind of like choose another path. Deal with it and say, oh, give me sabr, If a child commit a major sin or a boyfriend or girlfriend and we're all in this, or they do wrong and something like that. I hear that every single day, and they can commit the worst of major sins, but it's still alive. They're still alive. You love them, fitra love. Fitra love means the natural love. Nobody can, you're not going to be accounted for loving your child as a fitra. But you hate their action and you're dealing with them will be based on their action. So if they leave Islam or they leave, that's a bit bigger one, of course. But if they commit a major sin within Islam, you still love them as your children, but hate that bad action, and you can cut them off or advise them or be tough or rough or whatever based on it, but you still love them as a father, mother. Now, a man can marry a non-Muslim wife and he still love her. Nobody can tell him you're loving someone who's not Muslim. Yeah, he love her natural love. She's the mother of his children. She's his love, he physically love her, emotionally attached to her, no problem. But when it comes to the religion, he cannot compromise his religion for her. That is the defining thing. Our children, we love them so much, but we cannot compromise our religion for them. But we can compromise our ego, we can compromise this, we can compromise that, but we cannot compromise the religion. So if they disobey Allah, that's when we stand. But taking advantage of you, they spend $10 extra or they spend $50, it's all right, like kind of handle that in a certain way, like they did not do their chores. There are days to come to do their chores, but don't make today's a big deal. So that's what I'm trying to say. You do not own the person that you have a relationship with. You don't own them unless they're your slave. And that's done and done. So nobody owns anybody. So consider that you are working for someone in a company and he gives you a paycheck. You do not own the company. You don't. Unless you have stocks in the company, there's another story. But you do not own. You are getting paid for a job to do. So you do it best and you report to your CEO or your manager and they give you bonuses and all based on that. Now that is the worldly thing. Now you are dealing with Allah. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. So He's the owner of everybody and everything. And you give Him the report of what you do. But you do not own anyone. It does not go according to your way. It go according to His way. And He told you what to do. And we're going to discuss further, inshallah, next time. I hope you enjoyed today because I enjoyed it. This discussion here, it doesn't mean that I am wrong or you're right or I'm right or you're wrong. Wallahi, this is not the issue. The issue is that's how we as Muslims should think with each other. Yeah, sister, wallahi, I feel that you benefited the class today the most. Because if everybody in agreement, what is this? No. This is a discussion, my sister. Don't take it personal. All right.
Thank you. Jessica.
May Allah reward every one of you. I'm so proud of all of you because you make this class whatever it is. It is a long way. Alhamdulillah, we're here now. But I'm very happy and I'm very proud of this class. This is one of my signature classes. And I keep saying that all the time. Sister's class is one of my signature classes. And I'm proud of it. I always mention it everywhere. And you are the most active, mashallah, most interactive. And you act upon what you study. So I'm very happy with this class. So please continue bringing forward and challenge me. Please do. And when I become emotional, now you know that you got Sheikh, I got him to respond because you dig, you pick my mind, and that's what we want from each other, and that is how we benefit our next generation, because we are going to be watching them one day taking care of their children, inshallah. Well, jazakumullah khairan, walhamdulillah rabbil alameen.